Stu, we have one voicemail today. Let's take a listen right now.
Alexi and Mosse, this is Brett Steiner from Denver, Colorado. Love the podcast. Guys, we need to stop this narrative that the U.S. men's national team is top 15 or just 15th in the world. We are not close to 15. We are genuinely more around 25 to 30 right now. In the last 20 years, we've perpetually been maybe 17th to 25th. But like this narrative that we're a tier 2 top 15 perpetual team is just incorrect. Like, I love USA men's and women's soccer, and I bleed red, white, and blue. But please stop saying that we're top 15. If you guys have to write down the countries in the world, like currently right now, please do. But we're not. Love the show, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you, Brett. And just to give a little context here, on Monday's pod, Alexi and I analyzed Mauricio Pochettino's introductory press conference, and I brought up Pochettino talking about winning the World Cup, and I said it was completely far-fetched to suggest the U.S. could win the 26th World Cup when they're only like the 15th best national team in the world. So ironically, I said the 15th thing in a negative context, but that wasn't even enough for Brett, who thinks they're not even in the top 30. What do you make of that?
Oh, Brett, look, I'm down on the U.S. men's national team right now, but I'm not that down, and I don't think you should be either. And I think the second we start setting expectations lower, and that, look, I understand it's emotional, and we all love and we bleed red, white, and blue. Look, I'm wearing the 94 jersey today. I pulled up the top 15 for you, all right? So we've got Argentina, France, Spain, England, Brazil, Belgium, Netherlands, Portugal, Colombia, Italy, Uruguay, Croatia, Germany. That's 13. Now, I would argue with you, I would agree with you that if we consistently played most of those teams as it stands right now out of 10, we're not winning that many. But after that, Morocco, semifinalists in 2022. They won on a magical run, but we did beat Morocco not so long ago in a friendly, actually, the year of the World Cup. Switzerland, I think we could beat Switzerland. That's at 15. Mexico, 17. We've beaten them consistently now for the last couple of years. Japan, Senegal, Iran at 20. We beat them in a World Cup, Brett. Denmark, Austria, Korea Republic, Australia, Ukraine, Turkey. We are definitely a top 15 nation. We have the talent to do it. We've been underperforming recently. I think we're right on that line, Mosse. I don't see us pushing much higher than that is right now. We'll see what Pochettino can bring. Can he push this talent pool to the next level? But I'm setting expectations lower for this group, but I'm not pushing them that low. And I think that's letting them off the hook.
Alexi and I dissected it on Monday, so this is now your chance to share your thoughts. How do you think it went for Pochettino making his first impression?
Yeah, so Mauricio Pochettino was rolled out, the nice, shiny new toy for U.S. Soccer alongside U.S. Soccer President Cindy Parlow-Cohn, JT Batson, CEO and General Manager Matt Crocker. I thought Pochettino was fantastic in his press conference. He came across as likable, endearing, and then even when the questions came to him about players and culture, vision, expectations, I liked that he was bold and willing to dangle the carrot of winning a World Cup and not giving the players excuses as to setting those expectations lower. So I thought that from day one, he sets the standards high, and my expectation would be that when the players come into that camp, they feel that expectation, but yet firm, yet warm. And that's what I loved about Pochettino. He was smiling and joking and laughing and engaging with the press, answering questions in English and in his native language in Spanish, being Argentine, and even embracing the fact that his English isn't perfect, but yet it's good enough, and it will be enough to be able to communicate his methods and his ideas to his team. So all of that for me was a win and the perfect start to the Pochettino era. But let's be honest, Mosse, games are not won in press conferences, and the work starts now for Mauricio Pochettino. And so for his technical staff, for the U.S. soccer staff to analyze the player pool, all eyes will be on his first camp coming up in October and which players he's going to be selected. And we're going to nitpick that to the finest details. And by the way, his first game, Panama in Austin against the team that effectively ended Greg Berhalter's tenure by beating us in Atlanta and the red card for Tim Weah and everything that came after that. And it's going to be the biggest challenge for Mauricio Pochettino, the limited amount of windows that he has in charge, the limited amount of time he has in with these players in camp to express his ideas, to build a culture, to build an identity, a style of play. And as we saw with the U.S. women's national team, how quickly winning can change that culture with what happened with Emma Hayes and our view of where the U.S. women's national team were in summer of 2023 to where we look at them now in 2024. And I think that Pochettino has that opportunity starting in October. And finally, we can talk about his playing and the style of play and the team's performance. And I do think we should be critical of these players. And I do think the standards should be high. And I do think we should talk about winning a World Cup, because I think if you go into a World Cup with anything less than wanting to be the best and win, then you're setting yourself up for lower expectations and an opportunity for players and fans and everybody alike to just be okay with mediocrity. And while I don't think that we will win the World Cup, I want us to set the expectations at that level. And I want the players to strive for that and push themselves and try to achieve that. And I hope that, look, realistically, a quarterfinal, I think, is where this team should be headed. But bring it on, man. I'm excited for day one of the Pochettino era coming up here in October.
You mentioned the first game is against Panama. The second game is against Mexico and Guadalajara. And to bring this back full circle, I'm fascinated to see how he's going to treat a player like Gio Reyna. If Gio's healthy but hasn't played much for Dortmund, is he going to be on that first squad list? Remains to be seen.
You like that clip? Well, my State of the Union podcast drops twice a week right here on my very own YouTube page. The only way to stay up to date is to hit that subscribe button down below. Size the day, and see you soon.